Countless arguments have emerged since the young Nigerian fast-rising singer MOHBAD died. We have heard countless audio videos analyzing how and what really kpai this young Nigerian singer, MOHBAD. But this particular audio I'm about to play with you guys really got me confused. But before I do that, if you are noticing this channel for the very first time, please hit on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. Turn on the bell icon to get notified on time whenever I publish a new content. For all my returning subscribers and those watching my videos on a daily basis, I'm always grateful. Thank you for all you do. So guys, let's proceed.
Why is Mr. Loba lying? He knew the state of the corpse of his son prior to that question. Why am I saying this? The autopsy was done on the 21st of September. And it was witnessed by just one family member. No lawyer was there. No lawyer was there. Blessing was there, the elder sister of MOHBAD. He was disturbed seeing her brother. I call it butchering, because if you know what is happening in an autopsy, I'm very sure you would have nightmares for months. The two people that were present there at MOHBAD's autopsy was Blessing and Yalolade. This is the same woman that told the public that MOHBAD's neck was snapped while her pastor poured olive oil on his head. How did they feel? How did they react when they saw this? Why is Baba saying he doesn't know about the state of his son, or if there was no stab wound around the body? Why was he lying to the public? Because he lied that he was going to check his son. So Baba saying he doesn't know the state of his son is wrong. Was a total lie. Who sent Yalolade? When she came back, didn't she tell you what she saw? Are you guys not living in the same house? The same way you deny that you don't know who snapped the head of your son, the neck of your son, the same way you denied that you don't know what happened, whereas it was in your presence. Yalolade said that it was a pastor that snapped the head. Next part, boy calls to identify the body. That do you know who this is? They have to identify that they know the person. So it's not somebody else they are cutting open. Their bed pathologist now addresses them. Okay, this is so. His age is so. Present weight is so. There'll be a weighing balance there. Present weight is so. Time of death, time he was carried in. They're going to state the time they want to start. They're going to give you the names of the other pathologists present. Once they've done that, they will now ask those witnesses to watch them closely. Then they'll start by identifying marks on the body. Marks on the body, it has to do with 1, to see if there were any gunshot wounds, or 2, maybe fire burns, or 3, to see if there were piercings, maybe from bristles or knife or anything. They're going to check the skin graft, to check all the joints of the body. If there were broken bones, they're going to do all that. They're going to turn the body, which is facing upwards, they're going to turn it to the back, to check the back also, if there is any reason to suspect a foul play anywhere, or a cause of death. They're going to do that. Now comes to the region in which even some doctors do faint. Now comes to the point in which some doctors do faint. They're going to now make a Y incision across from the shoulder blades, that's from your shoulders, from the 2 shoulders, to the chest region, the middle of the chest panel. Then they cut it down towards your, it passes through the navel down to where you have your, they don't slice the private part, but it goes down to where your bladder is. Chest region that has rib, they're going to use a kind of saw. It's not the capital saw. It's a kind of like a surgical saw. So then they'll now use a clamp to spread it so that the internal organs can be seen. Pass out. Some doctors that are even surgeons would pass out. He brings out organs of the body. They will bring out the lungs. They'll bring it out. They'll weigh separate places, separate plates. They bring out the stomach. Now, all organs, the bowel duct, the stomach, everything will be removed. Each will be weighed. Each of them will be weighed. Now, while this is done, they will now start by taking samples from each of those organs. They'll start with the stomach. The stomach is just to know what was the last meal this person took. Was it poisoned? So sediments or parts of the stomach walls would actually be taken. 2, they have to go through the bowel duct, the gallbladder. They're going to take samples from that. That was this guy diabetic or something? Was he secreting insulin or pancreatic juice and things like that? They're also going to go through the small intestines, go through the large intestines to actually see his last poop. That's his last feces. Take samples, cut part of his small intestines, put them in test tubes rather, make an incision on the head from one ear to the other ear just to bring it open. They're going to crack it with a saw also, with a surgical saw also. Crack it and open it, bring out the brain. They're going to weigh it take samples of the brain, then put it back into the brain, then sew it back. Now, the sewing is not just in they stitching it up is not in the normal stitching of the hospital that you use for your injuries. They usually stitch it up like how the stitches of the baseball ball looks like. Now, you stitch all those organs that were taken away. They've taken the samples. They are not going to arrange them back how they sew it. They'll just pack them. They'll be putting them inside. It is not like they're going to put the heart where the heart is, fix it, sew it with the pulmonary arteries or pulmonary veins. They're not going to do all those. They don't have time. They put it back, put everything back. They'll now stitch the guy up. So once they stitch the guy up, the amount of samples they've taken, they're going to label them, give you the grams, the grams, tell the witnesses, okay, the heart maybe weighs 2 kilograms. We only took 5 grams of it. We took 5 grams of so parts of the heart, the liver. They're going to tell you how many grams they did. So all this, the witnesses will know, and they have some jot down. And I don't know about this case, but what I know is that there were gory scenes of MOHBAD's autopsy. We shouldn't forget that this guy had been buried, not in a mortuary. He was buried in a grave for about 8 to 9 days, and decomposition had started to a level in which even the eyes were already falling out of the sockets. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just it. He had started decomposing. You could go through the videos of his exhumation. If you go through it, you would even notice that his eyes were popping. Now, when the autopsy started, it was almost popping out of the sockets. So it's something that no parents would wish to see. Now, Baba said that when he saw the son, he couldn't. The body was so messed up. He noticed that there was swelling. What was he expecting? Was he expecting to see MOHBAD how he stands for pocket? No, the mortuaries you have in Lagos. In Lagos, it's not like they take lights for the place. It's not like the place is like a freezer that has about minus something degrees. Let's take note of that. It is not that the person now turns to ice. No. Some even just place them on slabs. We should know that this guy has used 4 months already. Today is 21st, right? That makes it 4 months that he was exhumed from the grave. So you now imagine the level of decomposition in a Nigerian mortuary he would have undergone. And Baba is still saying that he wants to conduct his own private autopsy. I'm very sure that with what they did, I've said it on Timmy's platform before, that what they did is just a camouflage. The money contributed for the second autopsy that is in Baba's assets accounts, Baba wouldn't do that second autopsy. It will be on the excuse that the son's body has decomposed to a degree that he doesn't want to see it again. He wants to bury his son. Let us wait for a few weeks or a few days perhaps and see that he's going to change it so that he wants to bury his son. If the coroner inquest is saying that the next coroner inquest will not hold except the autopsy result is out, who are you to be writing a coroner inquest to ask them that you need more people to come to the stand? If you have any new evidence, take it to party. That's just the simple truth. It is a place that an inquisition is made by several lawyers. It is not just the lawyer of Baba or the lawyer of wunmi that will ask questions. These are things that lawyer that is writing the coroner inquest should know. Several lawyers will be seated there, bombarding questions to the person appearing on the stand. I think they see that they've gotten a headway on driving their own story and pinpointing who a suspect is, who this person, who the criminal is, or they are saying, oh, they've drawn up a concluding story of what happened to MOHBAD. That is not the courtroom. In fact, the findings of the coroner inquest can still be appealed or still be questioned at the courthouse. So I wonder why his son, they said they hired his son. I wonder why his son doesn't know this. That class has never been into a courtroom. But there are things you can research online. Now, those bloggers went on Instagram and put a headline that MOHBAD management sues Baba and Mr. Loba. That is a wrong usage of English. What was given to Baba is not a sue. You don't call it that. Neither is it a petition. He was given a letter, warning letter. All those things you said, you have to retract those your statements within 2 weeks. And you must pay 200 million naira for defaming me for libel issues. This so-called investigative journalist, he went on his own TikTok live and said that he's going to say some things so that Baba has given him permission to say it. I was like, okay, right on. He said that Baba said on the day Mo died, he went to the house, he saw MOHBAD's lawyer. Of course, in the TVC interview, he only said he saw a lawyer, but on so many instances, and if the lawyer needs those audio and video evidences that Mr. Loba said, MOHBAD's lawyer, I have many, about 2 or 3, where he mentioned it. he said he makes Mohbad's lawyer. Now, what was he doing there? So this journalist was now saying that he approached the lawyer to ask if any of Mohbad's documents of his properties are with him, so that they can go and bury Mohbad at his place. He said the response of Mohbad's lawyer is that, he knows about a property like that at Berigwe in Ikorodu. That, but the document is in Liam's name, 2 plots of land. And Baba was like, okay, get me the address so that we'll plan the burial there. This journalist said, okay, so the lawyer and Dorosha, they now went out. Then he came back and told him that he doesn't have the address, it's only the documents he has. This is very laughable. The same Baba said he went to a police station to ask for a police report. He gave details that Dorosha was just going up and down. And now, the thing here is this: if you are grieving, a precise and perfect knowledge of things that happened to you instantly when the grief happened. But Baba is giving details. I believe psychologists in the house would understand what I just said. If you ask Wunmi today, and she gives you detailed explanation of those things that happened immediately her husband died till he was buried. If she does that, it shows she's guilty of something. My father telling you that when he got there, the first statement of the lawyer is you even remember the first statement of the lawyer. Or why did Wunmi not call the father? Was called the mother. Sorry, Wunmi did not even call the mother. She called Blessing, and that was it. It shows you don't even have anything in your brain. Now, you're talking about death certificates. Now, death certificates cannot be issued to anybody that was brought in dead in any Lagos State hospital. I don't know of other states, and I don't know of abroad. But in Lagos that I live, you can't issue, there's no private hospital that would issue you a death certificate. In the death certificate, let me tell you the contents. At least I had that of my mom. In the death certificate, you're going to see 1, the cause of death. 2, the doctor that is writing the stuff. The doctor will tell you the time of death, the cause of death, both primary and secondary causes of death, will tell you the time of death. So if the Coroner Hospital that the Commissioner of Police said later issued a death certificate, the word later should have entered your brain, should have told you that it was not immediately MOHBAD was brought there that it was issued. It was later issued. Now, the question is this to the Coroner Hospital: who signed the letter or the death certificate? 1, which doctor signed that death certificate that the police is talking about? 2, who was it handed over to? Who was it handed over to? 3, what was the time of death on that death certificate? The DNA controversy. All platforms, both on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, are now clamoring for the DNA to be done. Both Wunmi supporters, Baba supporters, you just see them. Anybody will just put in hashtag. This week it started. The revolution started this week. Hashtag Joseph Aloba. We want the DNA to be done. Aloba. We want the DNA to be done. DNA is a must. Of course, the Access Bank of Baba is now housing 3 funds rather. 1 for the private autopsy, 2 DNA, 3 for a befitting burial. These funds have been paid into the Access Bank of Mr. Loba. Yet he's talking these funds. He doesn't want to spend it. It was not paid into this account for his personal gain. If it is 1 naira, send it to that account. Me, on my own part, I'll send 1,000 naira. Or I might even reduce it. 1,000 naira is too much. 500 naira is okay, or 200 naira. And people should start contributing, whether it's 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira. But some big hits, the maximum that should be contributed will be 2,000 naira. Ladies and gentlemen, am I communicating? Am I communicating? We all should keep our receipts. Whether it's 5 naira you donated, whether it's 10 naira, whether it's 100 naira, whether it's 200 naira, whether it's 2,000 naira, the max should be 2,000 naira. We'll keep our receipts and we'll give this man 7 days to do the DNA. He has to do that DNA. And if he does not do it, we're going to submit all our receipts to EFCC office that this man called us out to help him. We're not going to submit the TVC interview that he called us to help him do autopsy and DNA, which we have paid for. But he doesn't want to sign the court order for the DNA to be done. He must account for it. He must account for it. With this, Baba will be held for misappropriation of public funds if he dares spend my own money. Pin the account of Mr. Aloba on your social media handles. DNA is a must. It has to be done this week. Please and please, whoever has paid, please keep your receipts. By next week, we're going to create an email that everybody will submit their own receipts to that email. We'll now give Baba 1 week that he must do that DNA. By next week, if he doesn't do it, we'll gather all our receipts. And on Monday, we'll march to EFCC office. We have a proof of the TVC interview. We have our receipts to submit at EFCC office. We're going to submit the account number he put out, that this account should be placed on hold, that every transaction that came out of that account within the last 3 months should be investigated. Because this man is scamming people.